Hi, welcome to the Liverpool Community Podcast. I'm your host, Chase Johnson Lynch, and once again, my head is in the clouds. No, it's in the trees, actually. So I mean, it's all good. I mean, I haven't been doing the show in a bit, but I kind of missed this. I'm joined here by two lovely women who are, let's say, I'm not going to say they're teachers, but they're instructors, purveyor of life, purveyor of the arts, Dramatic Recovery CIC. I am joined by Anna Griffith and Megan Pete. How you guys doing?
Hi, good, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Jay. How are you?
Well, hey, listen, hopefully people will flip their screens around because it said your name there. So, but Phil will put it on the screen to know which one it is. But yeah, so no, it's great really for you guys to come in because actually a lot of times, the city is so small that when you get involved with people, you do work around the city, work in the community, you hear of other projects. And then we hear of other projects, you get referral to other people. And then it's like, oh, wow, what did they do? And then it's great. And then finally we have you here in the studio. And so I would like to thank you guys for coming. Dramatic Recovery, why don't you tell us what Dramatic Recovery is all about?
Shall I go or you go?
You go.
I thought they practiced this, but they didn't.
No, we always do that. So Dramatic Recovery is a mental health arts organisation. So we use theatre to help people with poor mental health issues to explore their emotions, to kind of express themselves, get out of their head and do something different, use it for their social life or use it to kind of grow in confidence, and we work with all age ranges. And yeah, so from schools to the community, through social prescribing, through different partnerships as well. So yeah.
But also, I mean, like the main thing as a mental health arts organization, what you do is you're providing like writing and drama workshops, aren't you?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like unique and different in its creativity because when you're working with people with mental health, you're getting them the chance to like come out of their comfort zone, aren't you? Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what you said your experience was, isn't it? It's like either people want to come out of their homes or they want to socialize, and now it's 4 years later.
Yeah, I think like when we were in uni or when we were younger, we used drama as our outlet. So I think the arts is such an umbrella term for things like writing and so many different things within drama you can get stuck into. But for us, it helped us with our mental health. So that's where the idea kind of came from. We were like, oh, we want to carry on doing this. We want to carry on doing it in the community. And then sort of the positive impact of people's mental health came secondary after that. And then we were like, we focused on that niche, I think, from that. So
yeah, because obviously, I mean, we had this conversation. It's like, when it comes to mental health, it's like it's such a thing nowadays, especially now. They're creating new words every other like month. Neurodiversity. It's like it's finding out that a lot of people are dealing with being neurodiverse. So when you are working in the creative realm, as you guys are doing, it's like, we talked about it either could focus on mental health, but mainly it's just focusing on creativity, isn't it?
yeah, having a vehicle to promote positive mental health and well-being.
And just by doing it, promote positive mental health
I think
well-being.
because we say we're theatre for mental health, a lot of people think, oh, what are we going to do? Sit and, make a piece of theatre about depression, which we could do.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time it is more, we'll do lots of different games and we'll talk and we'll have a laugh. And that's the main thing that really happened. It kind of gets you out of maybe that funk that you were in before to a different, mindset because you've been creative and that is,
learning a new skill, achieving something.
Exactly.
Improvisation, devising, script work, acting, writing, anything.
Yeah.
Arty.
Yeah. I mean, like it's just that whole thing about like being able to explore that kind of stuff. So basically, you gave me, I wouldn't say it's a new word, but me. One of the key things that you guys were doing is what is called verbatim theater. And like for our audience, not for me, for our audience, what does verbatim theater mean?
See, I say it now thinking, because we do it a lot, thinking, oh, people know. But so verbatim means word for word, so exact. So with verbatim theatre, we felt like if we wanted to, so the community that we work with, if they've got a problem, say if they're experiencing anxiety or depression or grief, we want to help the wider community by sharing their thoughts, their opinions, their outlets. So we think the most, authentic way to do that is to interview them and project their voices on speakers. So include all the the sighs, the quivers, because that makes it real and that's what people want to relate to. Because a lot of the time, with movies, things can be glorified, and obviously there's, we wanted to just show the raw version. So with that, we've done like an anxiety piece, a piece about bereavement, and a piece about male mental health. I'm missing on self-image, and with that,
we're gonna talk about these things. I'm
going on.
We are here for some time, Anna.
You can script the unscriptable.
You can script the unscriptable.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's profound coming from me.
Well, hey, let's talk about one of these verbatim theaters, because, like, I think Anna doesn't realize I have a plan. It doesn't seem like it is, because I'm holding a piece of paper in my hand. But one of these showcases that you've done was around self-esteem, as you say, called Self. But what was interesting is it was an intergenerational project that went as low as 6 to as high as 90. But it's basically the one that kickstarted everything.
Yeah.
Now tell us why and how it kickstarted everything.
So at the time, I'd graduated a year before, and that was when I knew that I wanted to set up a company, but I didn't really know what it was going to be about. I knew it was theatre. I knew I had a passion in mental health, and like Meg said before, it was our outlet. So I was volunteering at a few different theatre youth groups, and one in particular, I worked with like a group of young girls who were aged 6 to 10, and I didn't even mean to explore self-image or body image. It kind of came up through some like practical physical exercises we were doing, where the young people were saying things like, oh, like, I don't like my body, I look fat, I need to put makeup on to change my face, I want to look like Gigi Hadid, I need to have a six-pack, I need to have blue eyes. And it blew me away. And I just remember leaving the session and I was just like, I had no idea that young people that young felt that way. So I thought, like, well, if they can open up and share in that space that we've created just an hour ago, we've obviously got a medium there, a vehicle. So then we started working with them, and then we interviewed them, saying those things, and then through the process, interviewed other people, older people, and then at the end of the project, they were saying things like, in the microphone, like, love yourself, and, really love your body, because if you don't, then no one else will, and all things like that.
Is that your best Scouse accent?
Yeah.
Where you from, Birmingham?
But they were like giving advice to the older people in the end, which is really nice, and I think it was like
out of the mouths of babes, isn't it?
Yeah.
But also, like, to help this project along, I think you had to go to an old friend, and everything. I wonder who that is.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that? Do you want to tell them about that other friend I've got?
Just when you thought this was planned, it wasn't. But go ahead.
So that was me.
That was
me. I got the call. But yeah,
the call.
Anna reached out to me and said, do you want to come and be in this piece about, and she told me obviously what it was about, and I was behind it every step of the way, and do you want to help with the company that I want to set up, and what I want to carry on doing? And I was like, yeah. And at the start,
how old were you guys though at this point?
21.
21.
See, that's not an embarrassing question, because I just want you to realize, just like, to come up with the idea to set up your own company and to believe in your own dreams is really important, so.
Oh, thank you.
Definitely, I definitely didn't think, I think we were saying before, I didn't think it would ever be what it is now. So going into it, I mean, you was like, come do this, and then I knew from the second that I kind of got my feet on the ground with Anna and was doing it, that I lived in Manchester at the time, I would travel an hour to keep doing, drive an hour to keep doing this, and once you've covered one topic, you think, if this is all we got from one verbatim piece and topic and workshops, what more is out there? So we definitely did find out what more we could do, and then obviously Anna was like, I think you should stay, and then her mum and dad gave me a place to stay, and then I stayed with you for the rest. And then we were called something different before. We were called Mallet in the community.
Called what?
Mallet in the community.
Mallet.
It stands for Motivated and Loving It.
Well, wait a minute. Was
Yeah.
Paul Kincaid involved in that? Paul's my boy.
Really?
Oh my God.
So
no.
Haley works with us.
And Haley,
Haley works with us as well.
Oh my God, this is like, this is so
no
cool.
way.
Yeah, it's sad, rip to Paul Kincaid. But so you were part of Mallet.
Yeah.
I was part of Mallet at one point
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Oh, jeez.
Oh, no way.
Sorry.
You could Uncle Paul.
This was so unprepared. Okay. Back to the unpreparedness. So basically, you guys when did the idea of let's go into schools come into play?
I think working with younger people, not just in the community.
Was it with Mallet or something like that, or?
Yeah, I think so. When we were in school, we both had really good relationships with our drama teachers. And I think we've both said before that we weren't the most academic in other topics. It was hard for us to focus because we felt like we weren't good at it. Whereas drama, I think our drama teachers, encouraged us to, do more because they felt like we were good at it, and like we felt like they made us feel confident. So, with drama, obviously, a lot of things can be brought up in the creative space because you can be silly, you can, walk across the room like a monkey 1 minute, and then you can talk about something serious because everyone's seeing you be, you look like one right now, because everyone's seeing you be, silly, so why not be vulnerable, So I think with that's why we felt like, maybe when we were in school, we could have explored those sensitive things, and that would have made us feel more prepared for life going forward. So then that's why we kind of like sat down and we created these programs about going into schools and working with young people, because we felt like if, what can we teach that we wish we were taught, using the medium of art. So
yeah, I mean, because it's not like a group session.
Yeah.
And like you say that you tell the kids, like, we're not trained like psychologists or something like that. But what you do is you provide them, how shall we say, like the circle to open up.
Yeah.
And like you said an interesting, funny one about a young lad who's, because you did an exercise called I Feel.
Yeah.
Want to talk about that, Megan?
Yeah, so we went into a school, and I remember this one young boy kind of saying, we were doing script work and devising scripts, and it was about, situations where you might feel low, and we were all in a group, and he kind of said, Miss, which they don't have to call us Miss, by the way.
Oh, well, they do. They do. Don't matter how old you are.
Can I say man's depressed because he's lost his gal? And I was like, yeah, of course you can say that. Like, it's fine. Like, obviously he may have been drawing on an experience he'd had. He may not have, but he felt safe enough to kind of be like, that's a reason why I might feel low. It's a reason why some of my mates might feel low. And I want to put that into a creative space, and I couldn't have been prouder. I was literally like, yeah, you say that.
But he put it out into the circle as opposed to privately, and then because I think you both experienced, the private conversation. And Miss, can I speak to you and all that? It's very rewarding, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. I think we always say that, like, there's been so many sessions where we just like sat in the car and like debrief for ages, haven't we? Because it's definitely like a fulfilling job, and we don't like I said earlier, we don't like to call it work, do we? Because it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
Which is good.
So now here's a I was going to say a different word, but here's a strong move. What made you decide to contact Jessica Hines? And what happened with that?
So it was in lockdown, and obviously there was a lot on the news about the arts being cut from schools and theatres and projects, and we saw an article that said Jessica Hines was campaigning, I think with like the Arts Emergency Fund, to get drama back into schools because of how much it helps with mental health. And obviously we saw that and we were like, that is literally what we're trying to do. So we like put together this like massive email about all the things that we did, found our agent's email, contacted her, and like Jessica Hines just replied in like all caps, yes.
Wow.
So then we arranged a Zoom with her. We met her on Zoom, and then we like chatted back and forth a few times, just about like ideas and things like that. And then we met her in London, and then
What, did you have to go down in London?
yeah. So we went. We
were going to London and we let her know. And then she
Yeah.
was like, I'm around. Then we met her
yeah,
Oh, nice.
for a cup of tea. Or
cup of
something.
tea.
Um,
Yeah.
And we can't take credit for the name because at the time we were in the community. And then she said, have you ever thought about rebranding more once you've found your feet a bit more? And we were like, yeah, we've actually, funnily enough, you say that, we have been thinking about that because we were milling over that, but we just couldn't, we were like, we just can't think of anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, what about Dramatic Recovery? And we were like, yeah.
We were both
it.
like,
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yep.
We were like, yeah, we'll take it. But she's been behind us, so like every step of the way.
she's been so supportive.
So basically, you had an idea, and she decided, oh, well, I want to become involved, and I'll direct this idea.
Yeah.
So what is the idea?
Yeah. So she basically wanted to help us create like a documentary testimonial video to show, the type of work we do with the people that we work with. And I guess it's something we've always wanted to do, but due to lack of funding or, not being able to have the space, we weren't able to. So Jessica like pulled together like a whole team, like a producer, a videographer, a DOP, sound guys, crew.
Because she can.
And she came she came to Liverpool for like 3 days. I think we worked like 5 a.m. in the morning until like all hours of the night, and we were driving around Liverpool filming, and she came to like our sessions, and we had like Edge Hill students who were working in film who worked with us as well, and it was an amazing.
And no one got paid. Like it was just to see. I mean, I think it was a bit of a pinch me moment for me and Anna, only because we were like, this many people are willing to help us, and we'd just kind of been for the past few years, kind of just keeping our head above the water, trying to
kind of keep
everything going. And like I said, sometimes like we were saying yes to absolutely everything because we had such a passion, and then when you see other people behind it, it's so nice, isn't it? And I remember just thinking like we're so thankful for all those people that helped with that. I mean, obviously it's not done yet, but
Yeah, well, so that's the thing. We're all still panting, waiting for it to be finished. It's in post-production. We don't even have a name either. But
Dramatic Recovery, the document, the film.
we hope that's not
Any
the
name
name.
suggestions welcome.
We hope that's not the
I
name.
know.
Well, let me tell you why we hope that's not the name. Because when you go to schools, what did some kids say to you about Dramatic Recovery?
Well, they were like, what am I in recovery of? I don't get it.
You're talking to Scousers, lady.
Yeah.
And I guess we were a bit
And
like,
that was from Crosby.
yeah.
And then they're like, what is this? Like, what am I doing?
So you had to change your
So
name.
we changed the schoolwork to Dramatic Results because I guess that was, good to hear from
More
the
friendly.
teachers.
Yeah.
Thinking we're going to improve the kids' results, and then they see it as more of a, we're not here.
positive.
Because, a positive.
Yeah.
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 As it is.
As it is.
As it is, I mean, like, so also, too, is like you said, these verbatim films. You're also working with a place called Sean's Place, but you did a film or you did a verbatim on male mental health called Real Talk.
Yeah.
You like talk about that.
We we started, like I said before, after you cover one topic, you think, what could we cover? And this is where verbatim's a really good example of you can script the unscriptable, because as two young women, what, you know, if we just wanted to do a play about male mental health, it's not something I can relate to necessarily first person, so verbatim's a good vehicle to be able to collect the community's stories anonymously. And then we did a call out. We went on the radio in Radio City Talk, and we did a call out for men to come forward if they wanted to share their experiences with their mental health, because we were doing a verbatim piece and everything would be confidential and anonymous if they wanted it to. But it would be anyway in terms of how the show is portrayed, so with the speakers, like Anna said, and then the actors. But we wanted to do it to raise awareness for male mental health. And then we surprisingly got so many men contacting us saying, I'd like to share my story. And we were like, great. We interviewed a few people, recorded it, had consent, and then we did a show. We put it together with music and then physicality on stage in the Jacaranda and then in the Hope Street Theatre.
With actors or?
Yeah, with actors. I think there was 5 actors. There was 5 male actors. And it seemed to keep coming back after we stopped one performance of it. It didn't end there. We got funding in COVID to do like an online screening of it. So if we put a camera in the theatre, we could screen it online. And then we did it again in the museum, the Maritime Museum, as part of sort of, it was November, wasn't it? So it was part of...
November, you mean when people wear mustaches?
Yeah.
So it was part of like male mental health awareness, and it keeps coming back, and we had such a good time. We did workshops with men as part of the funding, like you say, in Sean's place, and it's just complete freedom for people to use it as a platform to be able to get some sort of escapism or a platform to share their story. And all of them, I mean, do you want to tell the story about, you won't mind me saying Declan?
Yeah. So Declan's like a prime example of somebody who he wasn't into the arts, he wasn't really into performing, but he's a good example because he came forward and he shared his story about how he experienced poor mental health. He didn't tell a single soul when he met us, and he said that basically he wanted to just talk about it, how his self-esteem was really low, and he said, I'm happy for my voice to be in the project, but I don't really want my name, my face. And we said, completely, that's absolutely fine. And then he came and watched the first showcase of it, and he was like, wow, like, this is not what I expected. And we said on the mics that night, like, if anybody involved in the project wants to come and do a Q&A at the end, come if you like to come forward. And he came forward and sat on the stage in front of all these people and openly talked about his mental health, which was amazing. And then when we went on to create the film, we kind of created a documentary about the men behind the stage, and he was on the documentary as well, face, name, everything, basically saying how like opening up to him was such a big relief, and hearing his voice among other men's voices just made him feel like he wasn't alone. And now he like campaigns for mental health in his workplace and everything, and he's gone on to do great things. So
see, this is the thing that fascinates me about it, because you know, I've often find that people are very constricted by their past. You know, it holds them down like chains.
yeah.
And like when they get the opportunity, and like I've often had praised you where we were doing our show notes, is that, you know, it's the way, you know, you communicate and support people and stuff like that, that, you know, you have so many different success stories, because, you know, all people want to do is be heard at the end of the day. But at first they think, who am I, or why, or no, I don't want to. And then, whoa, look at all these people listening to me.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just amazing and a powerful thing.
Yeah.
You know,
That relief, isn't it?
yeah, and I mean, you often wonder, join us, man. What's taking you so long?
Yeah.
It's kind of like I remember being in college. It's like it's like hey, did Jesus walk on water? No, he walked on stones in the water. And then you say, and I'm gonna follow me. I don't know why I came up with that story, but it's true. I said it. But either way, I just wanted to do one more of the success stories that I thought that I wanted to share was when you were talking about the anxious girls that you worked with who like no I don't want to do this, and that pastoral kind of like forced them into it, and it was like one of your earlier jobs, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a few years ago, wasn't it? But that was kind of again where we wanted to start working in schools more because of them, and basically they were all put into a cohort because they had low attendance, they weren't focusing in school, they were behind in their homework, and we worked with them. As you say, they didn't want to do drama. That was the last thing they wanted to do when they met us. But I think we were open with them about our own experiences, and we were vulnerable with them, so they felt like they could open up themselves. And then that's how we kind of slowly pushed the drama into it.
Who is up for doing some drama? Put your hand up, and it was
No one.
You're like, okay. Have you ever done drama before? And
You're being overly dramatic right about now.
Yeah.
so we were
Well, this is the thing, and we say to
okay.
them, you act every day, you improvise every day. You're putting on a face right now, that's also acting. So they're like, oh yeah, fair enough. So then we kind of, bringing it into it, and then
But you also gave them other options like that they could devise.
there was
they
like
could write,
writing
they could-
involved. There was people helping backstage. There was people directing. So you didn't have to be limelight. And then with them, they basically wrote their own experiences about their anxiety to talk to other people in their school about. And then, they performed it in front of like the school board, and the school teachers were coming up to us at the end like, I've never heard her speak, or she would never put her hand up in my class. So it was a real big moment for them, and we've been in contact with the school ever since and worked with some of the girls.
I mean, I really like that word, limelight.
Limelight.
That's a good title. That
Ooh!
movie. You don't have to be limelight.
That's what it'll be called.
Now, if limelight appears near you.
Copyright. Yeah.
All right, I just gotta
Go
say.
on
We've got it at the
Well,
end of it. I
I
knew we'd find it.
limelight. Last thing is, I was asking you, like, what do you guys got coming up and everything? You got something coming up in the fall?
Yeah, so we've been working with Sefton Fostering Service, working with their young people, and they're creating a piece of theatre about their experience in care and what they wish they could say to social workers, their carers, other people in their situation, friends, teachers, and so they're basically going to perform at the Fostering Conference in September. So they're looking forward to that, aren't they?
Yeah,
and
and
we
it
are.
may continue after that. They never really just stop. They always seem to continue, but we are looking forward to that. It coming up in September.
Yeah.
Well, I just think it's fantastic because, again, it's not exactly about mental health. It's about creativity. And these projects that you have worked on and that you're creating, whether at first it sounds like Don't Panic, Real Talk, or Grief even, because, you guys worked on the Grief Project, which went, far and wide. And it starts out with people's stories, and everybody got a story to tell. Everybody's story is worth recording. Everybody's story is worth making. And as long as you have people like yourselves that are willing to support them into, what they're doing, they'll never leave you. You probably can't get rid of some of them.
Yeah, exactly. And a story is an art form as well, isn't it? So that's why it goes so well together. Everyone's got that story, and
it's such a low pressure environment.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you said about Declan, if you don't want to get involved in the arts necessarily, like we want to have an avenue for people to just be able to talk, and it can be completely anonymous. So just hearing their voice maybe among a few other people that have also struggled, and then seeing everyone's different coping mechanisms, I think that's really special for the kids that are in care as well.
Well, obviously, dealing with sensitive matters, I mean, usually we ask people, like, how can we find you, as far as, like, social media is concerned. Do you guys actually put yourself out on social media, like your projects or anything?
Yeah, we're not very good at social media, are we? We always try and put ourselves out there a little bit more. But yeah, we've got, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, which is all Dramatic Recovery. But we're
Dramatic Results.
not dramatic results.
That's the program.
They got to keep the name Dramatic Recovery because Jessica came up with it.
Exactly.
And if you don't
they
know,
love it.
yeah, they love it. And if you don't know who Jessica Hines is, I mean, who is she? I know who she is. She's from
Google
Space.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Space.
So maybe who's that guy? Simon Pegg will show up.
Simon Pegg, yeah.
You think he'll show up
Maybe. Let's invite him.
at your premiere?
That'd be a good goal to set.
Wow. I'd be, tell everybody.
Yeah.
It's on Eventbrite. Simon Pegg coming.
Yeah. Everyone will come down.
You never know. She directed it, man. I mean,
You never
exactly.
know.
Limelight.
Yeah, you never know with these things.
You never know. Anyway. I gotta go only because Phil's so popular, his phone keeps going off. But but it's been great talking to you guys.
Thank you so much for having
and
me.
also learning a little bit more about an organization that is working closely with people in the community that, again, I don't like to use the word mental health, but that are working towards their creativity in really positive ways.
Yes.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And everything. Phil wrote a quote on the board. I would actually quote it, but I don't want to. I don't know. What did you say, Phil?
you
Something about the
remember it?
lifeboat of the soul?
Art
Art is the lifeboat of the soul. Anyway,
I like
so thank you, Phil. All right, but it was good. It was good.
Phil got it from somewhere else.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
You should have
He's from
copyrighted it right
Birmingham. Of course,
there.
he got it from somewhere else.
Trademark.
Thank you, Anna Griffith and Megan Pete. Dramatic Recovery CIC is a great project and everything, as well as Dramatic Results, which can be found in some schools and everything. They're also on, they said they're on their social media, so please look out for them and everything like that. And in the fall, I'm pretty sure they're having more than this Sefton Fostering project coming up and everything, and everything. So, hey, all I can just say is for now, we're out of here.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.